Hello everyone. So till now what we have done is we have created an item for pharma industry, and then we have created a formulation which is also known as BOM, bill of material, for that particular product. Now the most important thing required in any kind of pharma manufacturing is the batch generation, right? And to maintain each and every product, whether it is raw material, whether it is final product, you need to maintain the batches of that particular product, right? And that is why this particular topic, this particular thing become very important for any kind of pharma manufacturing. So in this particular video we are going to see how to add or create batches for any pharma manufacturing using ERPNext, right? To get started, before that I just want to know to let you know that if you are looking for any kind of implementation of ERP in your pharma manufacturing unit, you can reach out to me and I'll be helping you out with the complete process, the complete formats, ISO formats, and everything which is required for your successful ERP implementation. Till now we have implemented ERPs for more than 15 pharma companies. ERPNext is an Indian product which has all the data stored inside Indian servers. In fact, you can store this or you can install this system on your own server also. So if you are interested in this particular product, please do reach out to us. We have mentioned our communication details in the description below. So let's get started on creating batches. So to create a batch, I'll just click on add batch, right? And over here you can see this is a very simple form which comes up, right? So what you can do is you can create a batch ID, you can select an item, you have to select the manufacturing date also for that particularly, right? So for example, I want to create for paracetamol. It is a product inside my system. So for example, there are two things which you can see, that there is a paracetamol API also, and then there is a paracetamol as a product also. So what I'll do is I'll create batch for, first of all, paracetamol product, right? I have to set an expiry date, right? So for some customers I have seen that they don't set the expiry date with a particular date, instead they set it based on a month and an year, right? So if it is your requirement, that is fine, we can customize the system also for you, right? Now manufacturing date is something wherein you are manufacturing it. So for example, I'll be finishing my manufacturing on 1st of October, right? And my expiry date would be somewhere around December 2028, right? So I'll select it over here. Batch ID, you can select, for example, you have to write batch, and this batch has an ID of 8982, right? So this is my batch ID, right? If you want to describe this batch, for example, you are building this batch for maybe Cipla, right? So you can write it like that, and what you'll do is you'll just save it, right? As soon as you will save it, right, this particular batch is now created, and all the documents which are required in this particular batch are already linked over here, right? So if you are doing any kind of purchases for this particular batch, this purchase receipt is here, purchase invoice is here, sales invoice is there, delivery note is here, serial and batch bundle ka movement wherein you are sharing or sending this batch to any places, that is also created, right? And this batch is currently empty, right? Because we have not manufactured anything for this particular batch till now, right? Now this is the second step wherein we'll be discussing how to create purchase receipt and purchase invoice for this particular batch. Now purchase receipt is something wherein you are adding, right, for this particular manufacturing. For example, you have procured your raw materials from 10 different suppliers and you want to keep it at one place, right? So what you have to do is you have to generate a purchase receipt on this particular batch's behalf, right? So what I'll do is I'll generate a purchase receipt, right? I can use a simple supplier. For example, this is my supplier, right? To make this particular batch to work, right, I need some kind of products also. So what I'll do is I'll create or select few products, for example paracetamol, or what I'll do is I'll select RM dash. In the previous video we have added all this information, so who has followed me in the other videos, you can see it, right? So for example, I am creating 1500 or 15,000 unit of each product, right? So I'll add few more raw materials, RM-111. These are all my raw materials required for manufacturing of this particular product. So RM-112, right? Right, I'll add all this raw materials. Again 15,000 quantity of this, and finally RM-114 magnesium state, 15,000 quantity of this also I'll want to add, right? And why it is not asking me for any kind of batches? Because what I have done is I have not enabled the batches over here. So in inventory, what I'll do is I'll add has batch number. This is done, right? And for this particular raw material also I'll enable the batch. So serial has batch number, save it, right? Okay, for this particular raw material also I'll go and click on has batch number. So this is what you have to remember at the point when you are creating all this raw materials, right? So in this video we are doing it just for the explanation, right? But this is what we need to do whenever we import any batches, right? So this is already there, has batch number, and the final product is magnesium state, right? And this particular video in this particular product also will add an batch number, right? Now this is done. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll select or create batch numbers for this particular product also. There is another way of doing it is that you can automatically assign or create a batch number. So what I'll do is I'll open a new tab and I'll create all the batches for these products, right? So I'll go inside this and for all the raw materials, because why is it important that, because you have to maintain, like in pharma industry, you have to maintain batches for both final product as well as for the raw material. That is why we are doing this, right? So when I want to add any new batch, so I'll go inside batch list again, right? But this time this batch was created, 8982 was created for this batch was created for a particular final product, right? But we want to create it for raw material also. So for raw materials, maybe raw materials batch ID comes from your client also, so you can use it like this. So 110 item is RM-110, right? And expiry date, we'll keep it normal for everything. Let's keep it 2028 just for learning purpose, right? So December 1 2028 for everything, right? I'll create a new batch for RM-111 batch 111 RM-111, right? This is done. All these things could be done using Excel sheet also, but for time being we are not using Excel sheet because I want to show you everything. But all these things are updated in masses also, or you can update it through Excel sheet also. So we have formats for all this using Excel sheets. Expiry date would be same, 1st of December, right? Control B. All the shortcuts are also present. So batch 113, right? And RM-113, and 13 is not present, so let's move with 114, and expiry date would be 1st of December. Save it, right? So let's move and see how many batches we have created. So 1 2 3 and 4 batches are created. We'll create one more, last one. So the batch ID would be batch 114, right? And RM-114, right? So whoever is following me with my all the videos knows what is RM-114. If you have not followed it, so you can just check out the other video, so where we have created all the raw materials. Now what we are doing is we are creating a purchase receipt for all this raw materials, right? And now you'll see that that batch as are also coming up for each particular. So if you have multiple batches, it will show in the drop down multiple batches, but if you don't have multiple batches, it will just show you single batches, right? So 114 and RM113 does not have any batch. How come? So okay, so we have copied it. For what I'll have to do is I have to delete this batch because the item I have added over here is wrong. So I'll create another batch 113 for RM dash 113. Okay, so RM113 does not has RM113 does not have a batch activated, so I'll come over here and activate a batch for this RM has batch number. Got it? Now it will come over here also. You see, this is very simple. The system is very conveniently adding everything. Like you will not face any problem using this system for your pharma manufacturing. Right now, let's do batch. Finally, batch 113 for raw material dash 113, right? And then we'll keep the expiry date as same. Okay, I'll save this. Now you'll see that I'll be able to fetch it over here. See, everything is loading at real time, right? You don't have to reload and do anything, right? Where are we accepting this quantity, right? So you have to write or use this inside your maybe stores, right? So I'm just accepting this quantity in my warehouse as store. As soon as I'll save it, you will see that all the details have been calculated. 75,000 is there, right? You can define the rates also during the purchase receipt if you want to, otherwise you can leave it empty also. So I have just left it empty. Okay, so this is what is done. We have purchased this particular batch of items. Now if we'll go inside the batch list, you will see that all these batches have become active. All these batches have become active, and you can see that each batch has got some quantity, 15,000, 15,000, 15,000, 15,000. So this is the complete thing, right? You have created batch, you have purchased anything, and during the purchase you have assigned a batch also. Now this is where you have purchased the thing. Now for example, if you manufacture something, right? If you manufacture something, what you will do is you will use this particular product, right? Now this is 8982 is the thing which is being manufactured, right? So let's suppose we manufacture this paracetamol in 100 quantities, right? So what we can do to do that is, what we'll do is we'll create a work order. Okay, we'll create a work order, and which item will manufacture? Will manufacture paracetamol, right? And in how many quantities will manufacture? See, all the BOM and everything has already come. Now quantity to manufacture is 100, right? We will manufacture it in 100 quantity. So all the formula has already been filled. So paracetamol API is required in 100 quantity, may start in 20, 10, and everything is calculated, right? Everything is calculated, right? As soon as you'll save it, you have to say ki where do you want to manufacture it. So I want to manufacture it inside stores, and my target warehouse would be store, right? If you have multiple warehouses, we can configure it also for you, right? As soon as you'll save it and submit this, this work order is created. Now you can create a pick list that to manufacture this particular product, what is the pick list? So you need all these things inside the pick list, right? But for us, the stores and both the things are same, so we'll just start the manufacturing. I'll start it, right? As soon as I'll start it, you will see that it will ask me to enter the batch number, right? So to manufacture this particular product, I am using paracetamol API, but I have to mention the batch of that paracetamol API also. So batch 110, batch 111, batch 112, right? Batch 113, batch 114, right? As soon as you will save it and submit this, you will see that this particular batches of product would be assigned for the manufacturing, right? This is very important case, right? Now I'll come back to the work order. This has already come in process. So till the point we have not assigned the product or raw material, this process was not in process. Now it has become in process. As soon as my manufacturing is completed, you can finish it off, right? I'll just create it, and you will see that all this product are getting reduced in the quantity, and this product is getting executed. And again we'll have to select the batch numbers. So all the batch numbers would be this, right, which we'll use. Right, and finally we are using this raw material and we are manufacturing in this particular batch. So this is our final product. These all were our raw materials, right? So this is our final product, paracetamol. We are building in 100 quantity. So as soon as you will save this and submit this, this is done. Now the process is completed. We have manufactured a product, we have used the raw materials, and if I'll go inside my system and see the batch list again, I'll see the batch, I'll show you the batch report also. So you will see that now all these batches have reduced quantity, while this batch of product which we have activated has a stock over here, right? This is 100 of stock which is already created, which we can move, which we can split also, and which we can sell also, right? So this is how it is done. Now the last part is, I think this video has become already very long, but the last part could be when you sell this particular product, right? So to sell or to deliver anything to any particular customer, you create a delivery note, right? So to create a delivery note, what you will do is you will click on this, right? You will select a customer. So the customer could be anyone. For example, Aditya is our customer, right? And I'll select an item where which I want to deliver, right? So paracetamol I want to deliver to him, right? And in 100 quantity I am delivering to him, right? I'll save this, right? And I'll submit this. So as you know that the system already works on FIFO, right? So first in first out is our logic right now. So whatever quantity we manufacture first would be out at the first level, right? So now if I'll come back to the batch list, right? If I'll come back to the batch list and I'll show you what has happened is that it will automatically reduce the quantity from our current batches, and it will move out the things using our current batches only, right? So that is how it is done. So you see that this batch has already been created, and the product which is going out is also from this particular batch only. So this is the complete process of how you can maintain, how you can manufacture, how you can use the batching system inside ERPNext for your pharma manufacturing company, right? So if you are interested in implementing this product, please do contact me, and I'll be very happy to support you in this particular journey. So thank you so much for watching till here. I hope this video was very useful for you guys, and it helped you in making or building your business better. So thank you so much.